Never accept defeat.
There we go. He said the line. Now excuse me while I reload my other backup. Yeah, there we go. Welcome back to Hades 2. Back to back, because there's been a new update. And yeah, I really dislike how they have that one thing where, like, the first time you launch the game in the new update, you get the line, like, I think I got the Ares one on stream or whatever, but I just figured, oh, I should probably, since I modded the game, I should probably, like, test run it to make sure, like, none of the mods are still there or making something wonky or whatever. And yeah, he said the line, and then because I forgot to make a backup from last time, I didn't have my save from there, so I basically had to load an earlier one to get the line again, and then load the previous one again. So yeah, that was a hassle. But yeah, we got the final patch before release, and yeah, we're gonna be reading the patch notes, I guess, for quite a while. But the TLDR is we have all the hidden aspects for each weapon, and we have extreme measures from the first game, where each boss of each region now has, like, an extra difficult version, and hopefully it gives a bunch of fear and makes, like, 32 fear and whatever actually, like, more reasonable. I mean, not that it wasn't reasonable, but just, like, more fun, I guess. So yeah, we will be reading quite a lot. I'm not gonna go through, like, all of this, but definitely, like, quite a bit of it. I guess I'm gonna do this with mouse and keyboard. It's just a little easier, and like to, you know, gesture at stuff. So yeah, hidden aspects, new variation of the Guardian encounter, and then a bunch of, like, story focus and stuff like that. I don't think there's any, like, you know, new story, like, after Typhon or after Chronos or anything like that. Not really sure. I think it's more about just, like, character developments and relationships and gifting and all of that stuff, I would imagine. So yeah, hidden aspects. I'm assuming it's gonna take me a while to even get them, judging by the first game. I'm sure you have to, like, do certain things to then even get the chance to, like, receive the incantation from various people and stuff. We'll see if we maybe get, like, one or two of them today. And then, yeah, Vow of Rivals is the new extreme measures, essentially. This is a weird one to me. They have revamped the flames, the torches. Just, yeah, we'll read more about that later, but it seems weird because, like, I feel like the torches were in a really good spot and did not need to be changed compared to something like the black coat. But yeah, I don't know. We'll talk more about that later, I guess, and see how they are. There's now God-sent hexes. Man, this music is pretty loud, actually, I'm noticing, but hopefully it's not too loud on stream. God-sent hexes, which sound like they're pretty much the same as just the, what were they called again? The call boons from Hades 1. But it's like the Path of Stars can infuse... Like, you take a Path of Stars with Selene, and then I guess based on what gods you have in the pool, you can then get, like, an infusion from one of them. That sounds interesting, making hexes feel more, like, integrated into your general build, maybe. We'll have to see. And yeah, more bonds to forge and new optional events. There's new wardens, new mini-bosses in Erebus and Nephira. Good, because I hated the, like, satyr dude with a shield and crossbow. But this one might be worse, who knows? Some art updates and stuff, and some new music. Faster waves spawning, that sounds pretty good. And yeah, especially there were some bugs, I think, where things, like in Olympus and different regions, they would sometimes, like, wait way too long to spawn, like, for no reason. You're just standing there, just twiddling your thumbs, waiting for the next wave. So yeah, sounds good. This is an interesting one, because I just noticed this probably for, like, the first time, or at least I, like, thought about it just last stream, where I was doing those things in Nephira, and yeah, there was, like, at some point I noticed during the Heracles, one of the Heracles rooms, that I was, like, trying to hit one and punching, like, past a barrel or something, and it just didn't hit the enemy, because, yeah, it counts as hitting a wall, I guess. So that sounds pretty good, especially for, like, big striking weapons like the axe and whatever. So yeah, like that change. Many attacks that briefly stunned you now slow you instead, reducing cases of being stun locked. I'm not sure, like, what attacks did stun you, really. Like, I remember something stunning you, but it was, like, so rare. I'm not entirely sure what that did, but, I mean, that sounds good. Just more control. I think stuns in general are kind of, like, lame when it's on the player. Because it's just like, oh, you got hit by a thing, now you have to be hit by multiple other things because you can't do anything. You may now exit location slightly sooner. Sounds good for, like, speedrun times, I guess, and just... Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a couple other things coming later on, I think, that just make the Vow of Time just easier, I think, because, like, there's more cases of it not ticking, and also just, like, you can do things a little faster. So that sounds good. The Olympic Slam, it's faster and hits a wider area. I don't know if it means that the entrance is, like, the animation of dropping down is faster, or if it means, like, aiming it is faster. I kind of wish the aiming was faster, because sometimes an enemy is just walking this way, and you're like, come over here, get over here, I want to land on you, and you just can't because it's so slow. So if that was, like, quicker to move around, that would be nice. And maybe had some, like, acceleration if you're on controller, so you can, like, move it faster or slower. But yeah, we'll have to see. And it's a wider area, sounds good as well. This, again, this is what I was saying, but I do think it's kind of backwards. There are quite a few changes in here that I feel are a little, like, backwards, but I'm, like, they kind of make me scratch my head, but we'll have to see how things play out. But yeah, they removed the infrequent second stage of the fishing sequence. Now it's just the initial interaction, which is just the Hades 1 minigame, but now without the perfect catch, I guess. So it's just, like, easier, but more boring. And I'm not really sure, like, why not just remove the first initial interaction and then keep the actual unique Hades 2 fishing minigame and then have that be, like, oh, depending on, like, how many, like, perfect catches, like, bobber hits you get, like, different rarity chances or something for the fish. I don't know. I feel like this is backwards. I feel like they should have removed the first one, not the second one, to make it just a more bland version of the first one. At least we don't have to have, like, god-tier reactions, because, I mean, when you actually learn the trick, it was not that hard to get the perfect catches in Hades 1, but still, that doesn't seem to be a thing in this game. So here, the Sister Blades got an Omega Special buff. Wow, that's crazy. Except, put a pin in that, because we also get, here, Sister Blades Pan, Omega Special Recovery Time, and now scales with the number of blades thrown. This doesn't... It's not clear if this actually means it's a buff or a nerf. I imagine it's a nerf. I imagine it means, like, if you just throw out a couple, then you have the same reaction recovery speed as before. But if you do the full blast, especially with a hammer, that adds even more. I'm guessing you have more, like, recovery time where you can't do anything, which is kind of unfortunate, because that was always the worst feeling thing about Pan for me. I always felt like, yeah, Pan is really strong, but I keep getting hit after the specials, like, before doing another, like, in between the special spams. So, I don't know, we'll have to see how that feels. I'm not sure I'm gonna like it, but I guess the Pan aspect definitely needed a bit of a nerf. Like, it's still extremely strong. Probably still with this, it's probably still very strong. Though it does make it, like, indirectly, I guess it kind of makes Poseidon on the special a little worse. But it compensates with more damage, but, like, you can't push out as many in the same amount of time, I guess. Maybe, we'll see. So yeah, here, this is weird. I feel like these two should have been, like, swapped in a weird way. So the black coat just got increased attack, and Omega Special damage. The specials are untouched. Which is weird, because, like, I feel like the black coat needs more fundamental changes than that. Like, the blocking feels terrible. The Omega attack is just terrible in general. The normal attack is, like, fine. It feels a little clunky and just, like, punch, 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 punch. It's like the gauntlets from Hades 1, except it doesn't feel as fluid and good, in my opinion. And then the Omega Special damage, I do think it needed that. Like, I also think it needed something more, like... I think I've said this before, where when the Omega Special locks on, I wish it stayed locked on, even if you pivot over to someone else. You could just, like, there's a bunch of enemies, you sweep across them, and it like locks on a whole bunch to all of them, not just within the cone. I feel like that would just make way more sense, but yeah, it's strange to just get a couple number tweaks on this one when it really feels kind of jank. And then the flames, which I really liked at this point, have just been reworked, adjusted properties of attacks and specials for improved flow and feel. Not entirely sure how different that's going to be, we'll have to check. There's also some aspect changes, some for the flames, and those are also kind of weird to me and a little bit sad, honestly. I'm going to skip these, not even going to look at them, because I don't want to see what the hidden aspects are. If you've read them already, then good job spoiling yourself. The Mel staff has been reworked. This is a good change, I think. Now raises magic and adds power to your specials. Because we didn't have a Mel staff, or a Witch's staff, that did anything with the specials, really. So it was always the case that, like, oh, the Mel staff just gives you some Omega speed, some channeling speed, and then Momus just gives you, like, triple the Omega damage on everything, and there's, like, no actual reason other than just, I'm gonna goof around and have fun and, like, just play Mel because I played so much Momus. There was no reason to pick Mel over Momus in a, like, power, if you just consider the power of them, basically. So I do think that's really good. So, like, yeah, it's both. It's a bit weird that it's, like, magic and power. Those feel a little clashing, because, like, what are you going to use the magic for if you're using it for specials? And if you're using it for Omega specials, then you're probably going to use that shimmering? Etheric? What is it called? There's some moonburst thing that, like, refunds your Omega special, which I feel like you're just going to use, so raising the magic seems odd to me, but at least it's something. We'll see how much power you get. But I still think the staff special in general feels kind of clunky at this point, since they, like, gutted it because the staff special Poseidon thing was too strong, I guess, and too simple. I don't know, still a bit sad about that. Cersei has been reworked, thank God, because it was easily one of the worst aspects in the entire game. Now, whenever you use casts, so does your animal familiar, which is a problem, because I never know where my animal familiar is. It's going to be hard to, like, keep track of where they are. This creates a psychic leash between you that damages foes. Sounds really interesting. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it's definitely a very unique thing, so that sounds really good. Too bad my Cersei staff is, like, level 1, because it was so bad. But yeah, Sister Blade's Pan, we read. Umbral Flames Mel. This I'm sad about. Rework the Mel aspect for the flames, now adds critical damage chance to your attacks and specials. That's pretty boring, and, like, the thing is, the Mel staff, the Mel flames, had such a good niche. Like, I think all three, if any of them should have been changed, I think it would have been Eos, because Eos was essentially just Moros, but just, like, flipped, where, oh, Moros is, like, your special is the, like, sort of setup thing, where you might want Blitz or whatever, and your attack is the thing that does the most damage. No, actually, that's the exact same. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, they're so similar in how you play them. You just, with Moros, you just use an Omega special, and then you pew, and it explodes a bunch. And then on Eos, you just use an Omega attack, and then you use the special a whole bunch. So it's, like, just flipped, but essentially the same gameplay loop. So I'm sad that they removed Mel aspect, because the, what was it Mel aspect did again? Like, it was more focused on, oh yeah, it was Omega special duration, so you could, like, not need to use it as many, or, like, as quickly. You could have more of them out, and yeah, there were some, like, interesting interactions with hammers, and triggering, like, Blitz and whatever with your special, and then it was just the kind of magic spending aspect, because it was the best way to just pump out a whole bunch of Omega attacks that don't have the, like, awkward tracking of the Moros ones that just stop, like, 5 feet ahead of you. So yeah, this one is a bit sad, because Mel aspect was really good for doing, like, fine line and, like, what are all those things that spend magic a whole bunch to do, like, crazy damage? I mean, there's like a whole bunch of things. The magic spend builds were really good, and yeah, now that's, like, no longer gonna be the case on the Mel aspect, I guess. I mean, we have crit chance, so... Actually, now that I think about it, that's still going to be the same, I guess. I mean, we'll see how the actual staff functions now, but for the actual Omega Omega attack, it's going to be the same, I suppose. But yeah, you don't get the, like, duration increase on the specials, so yeah, it might be fine, actually, thinking about it more, but we'll have to see how the actual staff, I keep saying that, the flames feel. The Charon Axe no longer increases duration of your casts. Kind of interesting. I mean, I don't feel like it's gonna matter, really. I feel like it's just kind of a good thing, because most of the time the duration increase didn't matter anyway, because you're just gonna Omega Special and blow it up. And in those cases where, oh, you didn't have enough magic to do an Omega Special, or you just, like, don't want to use it for some reason, you're just, like, throwing down a cast, it would just stay forever and then get locked out so you can't use it again. So, yeah, I mean, that doesn't seem like a bad thing. Who cares? It's kind of good that they removed it. Persephone's Skull, this one's pretty interesting. Bonus Omega Special duration now charges from Olympian damage instead of just Omega cast, or instead of just, what was it, cast damage? It was both your Omega cast, but also if you got a cast boon, it would also charge it. Reworked passive, this one I have no idea what it means. A reworked passive benefit now automatically raises boon level. What does that sentence mean? Reworked passive benefit now automatically raises boon level. I don't know what that means. Does it mean that, like, if you level it from level 1 to level 2 up to level 5, it, like, gives you +1 to 5, like, boon levels on whatever you put in the special slot? Because if so, that seems interesting. That you can just, like, you know, kickstart a special boon to get, like, a really big-ass Omega specials or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a bit of a weird sentence. And then Black Coat, the Nyx one, I actually didn't even know this didn't work this way. Night Spawn hits now also activate Olympian effects from the strike you used. So that seems interesting with, like, Poseidon. Now you can then get, like, one hit of Poseidon, then it splits into 2, and then those hit, and then you get 2 more Poseidon hits. So, I mean, that definitely sounds like you're going to want Poseidon on that. Definitely want to try that again. Altar of Ashes. Excellence. Increase the chance for legendary boons. I'm not sure which one Excellence was. Was that the rare one, or the epic one, or the duo one? I think that's the epic one. So it's like epic and legendary boons. I'm not too sure. Unseen, just improved magic restoration. Again, I feel like Unseen needs something else. It needs to be, like, either cheaper, or just, like, give magic always, even if you're, like, doing channeling stuff or something like that. Then it might actually be worth it. So yeah, not really sure about this one. And yeah, just some, like, minor things. Let's skip over those. Adjusted costs. So yeah, now Rivals. We don't need to really read this, but yeah, you just, like, the first rank is, like, unlocked for both Underworld and Surface. Then you have to kill one of them, or, like, kill both of them. So I first have to do the Aphira boss with the Vow of Rivals, and then the Underworld Hecate fight, and then after that I can then up it to one more and get the region, like, 2 regions. So we're gonna have to maybe either just, like, I don't know if I just want to die, like, do one region and then just, okay, that's it, let's die and do the other one to unlock it as fast as possible, but I guess there's, like, new story and stuff to see, so maybe not. Reduced fear required for surface victories to become something. I checked what this was. You can just press it right. Knight's Champion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just, like, specifically for the surface. Instead of being 32 fear, it's, like, a little bit lower, I guess. I mean, we'll have to see, which sounds good, because, yeah, the surface is definitely harder inherently, so it being the same as the Underworld is a little strange, but we'll see how much less. I'm gonna assume, like, 26 or something, maybe. Added contextual feedback when life restoration effects are being reduced by the Vow Scars. That sounds good, yeah. Stasis effect from the Stopper perk from the Vow Fangs is now easier to anticipate. I don't remember which one that is. I know I've seen something with that where it just felt like, oh god, I just got, like, stopped out of nowhere. Then we have a bunch of boons and blessing changes. Air quality has been buffed. I don't know if this is going to be enough. I feel like instead of just increasing the damage minimum, what they should have done is just made air quality like, I don't know, sort of like slow cooker, I guess, but just like adding to the... Nah, I don't know what they should do, honestly, but it just feels like it still probably won't really do anything, because it's so rare that you have anything, unless this is like a crazy amount that's like 100 damage, but I'm gonna assume it's like 50, which is okay, but yeah, like, I mean, I'm sure you're not gonna be unhappy to see it if you have like some minor Zeus like static shock things and whatever else that does like a little bit of damage at a time, but yeah, it's just kind of meh, that one. This is very interesting and weird. Poseidon, the slip curse has been replaced with froth, which can make foes take a burst of damage when struck. So I guess like it won't do... We'll have to see how this works. If it's like you can't use it for origination anymore, it's sort of like a hef blast where it's like they take a burst of damage and then it's on cooldown until you apply it again, or maybe there's a strict cooldown where like you can't reapply it for 5 seconds or something. I don't know. We'll have to see, but that's kind of weird. But yeah, slip was always kind of boring and like didn't really do anything. All it did was just, oh, it's a way to trigger origination without thinking about it. So I guess it's good, but yeah, sounds a bit weird. This is a really cool change. I'm interested in doing a Tidal Ring run now. Tidal Ring now hits foes in the binding circle instead of ahead and inflicts froth. So when you specifically use like Lightning Lance or Glowing Coal, it was always kind of weird. You shot it ahead of you and then the Poseidon Splash would just be like ahead of you instead. But yeah, we'll have to see exactly how this works. If it's like... Because it hits foes in the binding circle, but does that mean like one splash per enemy in the binding circle? So it hits like all around? Because if so, it's a lot better than just like a single splash in one direction. And then the froth sounds good too. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Breaker Rush deals more damage in an area around you. If it still pushes enemies away, I still don't really feel like that's going to be that good. Because like... It was always just awkward. You damage an enemy once, then you have to stop sprinting, then you have to sprint again, then you damage them again, then you have to stop sprinting, then you have to sprint again, because if you just keep running, they don't take damage again. There should just be like, if you just keep running, they should like have an internal cooldown where, oh, they can only take damage from it like once a second or something, but just take damage again. I don't know, it's very weird. Fluid Gain has been removed. It is replaced with Flood Gain, but we'll get to this. Fluid Gain kind of isn't removed. It's not cut from the game. We'll get to that. So Flood Gain, your Omega moves briefly restore any magic used, repeatable after a delay. Kind of sounds awful. Like, why do that? Why do like, oh, 1 in 3 of my Omega moves maybe, or something, maybe even less than that, will just not cost any magic, but I'm still gonna be draining my magic a whole bunch. So... I don't know. What's the point? I mean, maybe you can, like, scale it so that it actually gives you, like, refunds more magic than you spend to compensate for the ones that don't give you magic. I don't know. It sounds weird. It does not sound like a good way to gain magic. We'll have to see. Sneeze Snar has been increased. The effect chance, great. I mean, still just, like, for fun, not really that amazing. High Surf has been buffed in terms of damage. I mean, since it was unpalmable, I guess that kind of makes sense. Depth Charge is gone. Good riddance. It was awful. But now we have Ocean Swell, which is kind of similar. Your Omega moves also launch a damaging wave, but use more magic. Which is kind of a positive, because yeah, like, in many ways we like spending more magic. I kind of forget all the things that, like, are good to increase the magic spend. But yeah, I mean, there's like, big magic spend runs you can check. Like, I don't think I've really done them, but... yeah, there's plenty on YouTube, and, like, they're some of the strongest runs you can do when you just, like, pump up the magic spend and then use, like, Hera or something, or even just, like, Zeus magic, and just, yeah, do crazy things with magic spending, and, what is that one called again? Righteous Pike and things like that. Slippery Slope now also makes Froth deal more damage. So it's weird that, like, they removed Slip, but they didn't remove Slippery Slope. How does that make sense? So it's like Slippery Slope still has the thing where, like, whatever it was some, like, super meaningless addition. Like, oh, your Poseidon Waves inflict slip and do, like, 3% more damage, or, like, they push things 3% more. It was some, like, completely nonsensical, just nothing thing, so I guess it just does that now, and just does more damage from Froth, so maybe it's good. Prominence Flare, increased damage. Again, that's not what Prominence Flare needs. It's already decent damage, but it's just the fact that it, like, locks you out from doing another cast until it's done. That's really bad, and you can't, like, stack it with other stuff, though I think that was changed. We'll have to see, because, yeah, it says in some of the other ones, it was something that said that, like, you can now combine tier 2 cast spoons more frequently, so maybe we can even do, like, the Geyser Spout one with Prominence Flare or Meat Grinder, or Prominence Flare and a Meat Grinder together. Sounds fun. I don't know, we'll have to see. Tranquil Gain. Magic Restoration effect starts sooner and is faster. I mean, in that one run where I had it, it did feel okay, so might actually be pretty good now. Probably is going to be better than Zeus's, because you don't have to actually, like, run to it, so you just, like, freeze for a split second, especially if you have something like Wolf Howl. Like, I realized that was really cool, that, like, you could just let go of any input and just use your Hex, and it'll actually restore magic, like, during it, or, like, the trigger will start sort of during it or something. So, yeah. I mean, again, I've said it before, I wish this just was changed in some other way, where it's like, you either don't attack, but you can still move around, but not dash, just, like, walk around, and it still works, or vice versa, where you can still attack or cast or whatever, but just you can't touch your movement, like, keys, and then it still restores magic. But, yeah, I mean, it sounds like it'll at least be pretty decent now. We'll see. Frosty Veneer now reduces heavy damage above a certain threshold, rather than capping it. Kind of weird. That's just like a straight up nerf, I guess. And it's like, did we really need a Frosty Veneer nerf? Did people think that was, like, crazy overpowered? That, oh man, I can only take 30 damage a hit, or whatever it was. Was it that? It was something like that. Like, it was, like, okay in some situations on Typhon and whatever, but it was never that great. So I'm kind of baffled by that one. Aphrodite reduced duration of her weak curse, which sounds like a nerf, but if you think about it, it's actually kind of a buff, because we'll see how short it is, but one of the problems with, like, Aphrodite's legendary, which is the whole, like, when you apply weak, you apply all the other Olympian curses as well, or, like, randomized curses. The problem with that one is you then have to wait for the weak to wear off, and then apply it again, and then you get the reproc of it. And I guess if you, like, hit an enemy that is already weak with another thing applying weak, then it would just restore the duration or whatever, refresh the duration without adding new curses. So now maybe if, like, it wears off quick enough, like 2 seconds or something, that you can actually, like, reapply the curses more, it might actually kind of be a buff. Kind of. And, like, in most cases with a Glamour Gain, and if you have something like her cast or whatever, I feel like it's not really going to be that big of a deal to have a shorter duration. So yeah, we'll see. Life Affirmation is gone. Kind of. Yeah, sort of. It's replaced with Spiritual Affirmation, which just gives you life and magic, and future increases are worth more. So, minor buff to that. I mean, it's probably not going to be good. I mean, not that it's, like, bad, but just, like, you would probably want other stuff, but I guess it's going to be okay. The curious thing is, I wonder, since it increases, like, further increases are worth more, I wonder if now you can actually palm it. We'll have to see. Maybe it's a palmable boon now. Shameless Attitude was nerfed. Kinda makes sense. It's one of the best, like, universal damage buffers in the game. I do wish they maybe did it in a more interesting way, where, like, instead of just reducing the bonus damage, maybe they should just make it so that, like, it only gives a very paltry amount when you're under, let's say, like, 60% HP or something, or 70 maybe, but then above that, it, like, linearly increases, so you have to be max HP, full HP to get the full effect, and then, like, if you're at 90%, you get a little bit less, 80% you get a little less, and so on, until the, like, very small amount. I don't know, something like that would have kind of made sense to me. Hef Vent Curse has been replaced with Glow, which makes foes take bonus damage. Sounds interesting. We'll have to see, because yeah, Vent was always a weird one. Like, yeah, it applies Origination, but it's very, like, it goes against everything Hef wants to do, because applying Vent means you don't want to be applying another Hef Blast within 4 seconds, or you just waste the Vent. But if you're not applying a Hef Blast within 4 seconds, then you're not really doing, like, a Hef build. Because if you're, like, aiming for a Hef build, you're trying to get that cooldown as low as possible, which is just directly gonna, like, make Vent worse the better your run goes. It's weird. I don't know. So, yeah, sounds good. We'll have to see. The Hef Strike has been, like, the damage has been buffed, and the special has been, like, the cooldown has been buffed a little bit, which is good, because, yeah, it started out at way too high of a number, I feel. Uncanny Fortitude just got nerfed a little bit. Fair enough, it was pretty decent. Mint Condition has been cut from the game, sort of. This one is weird. Like, sure, yeah, Mint Condition is, like, one of the strongest defensive boons in the game. It's really good, but I didn't really think it was like, oh, we have to get rid of this, it's overpowered, and yeah, just like, I mean, I guess it kind of is. Like, it was dominating, like, challenge runs and speed runs and high fear runs and whatever. You always want them in condition, because it just makes you not have to think about anything, and most interactions, most combat sections just, like, last only a little bit longer than your mint condition anyway, so yeah, it kind of makes sense. It's just very surprising to me. And now we have a security system. At the start of each encounter, gain a lot of armor, but only briefly. So it's sort of like Trusty Shield, but just temporarily for each location, which is a little strange, because, yeah, it just feels like it overlaps with Trusty Shield a little bit, and we'll see how much armor. Yeah, we'll have to see. The bad thing about that is, like, you'll be hit during it. And, like, I don't remember, if you get hit with armor and don't lose the armor, do you still get stunned? Or, like, you get, like, hit lag or whatever from the enemy. I mean, not hit lag, but, like, yeah, stagger or something. I don't remember. But, like, that was kind of the best thing about Mint Condition, that you could just ignore enemy attacks and stuff. Heavy Metal has been reworked good, because, yeah, it was just terrible. Gain armor and deal more weapon damage based on it. I wonder if this lasts forever, where it's just, like, any time you have armor, you get a weapon damage buff based on your amount of armor. That would also make the Arachne Keepsake better, trying to go for, like, a let's have as much armor as possible while getting a damage buff build. That would be interesting. We'll have to see. Hestia, increased damage rate of Scorch, which is good, because, yeah, I mean, Scorch was pretty good, but it was kind of weird that it, like, had fixed damage output, essentially. But, of course, you have the tier 2 boons to speed that up and whatever. Fixed Scorch, not counting as a damaging effect from Olympians. Didn't know that was a bug for interactions with boons such as Rallying Cry and, yeah, like, Extended Family and things like that. So, sounds good. Yeah, Scorch is going to be better now. Hestia Special, increased Scorch damage. Heat Rush has been reworked. Kind of, like, this is a weird one. They essentially, like, flipped Heat Rush and Firewalk, Hestia's legendary. So, Heat Rush now leaves a damaging trail and reduces damage you take from burning, which is what the legendary did before. Burnt Offering has been cut. Kind of weird, but okay. Now replaced with Snuffed Candle. Deal bonus damage to isolated foes, previously single elimination from Ares. Very strange. I don't know why that fits Hestia better. Very strange. I don't know. Let's see, but that's okay, I guess. Yeah, Hestia's legendary is gone, and now it's Fire Away. Your casts destroy many foes' ranged shots and inflict Scorch. That just still sounds kind of bad. Unless it's, like, in the entire room, you just drop it and it's, like, everything is deleted. I mean, I assume it's, like, within your cast. It might still be okay, like, oh, Kronos teleports over to do his, like, I summon 5,000 balls, and you just drop a cast on top of him, and it just, like, absorbs every single one. I don't know. It sounds a bit weird and, like, not that significant still, but we'll have to see, I guess. Ares improved visual clarity of blood drops. However, blood drops are now called Plasma, which is weird, because we already had a resource called Plasma, which they now, like, later down here renamed. It's just weird. Why? Blood Drops was like a perfect name for it. Why Plasma? Like, it just sounds worse. Yeah, I don't get that one. It was the same as like changing Bloodline to Fine Line. I mean, sure, I get that, like, oh, we can't have Bloodline because blood is gonna be all of Ares' things, but like, Bloodline just makes sense for Hera, the bloodline of the gods, but nope, now it's just Fine Line. And this is just a weird rename as well. Mortal Gain has been deleted. It has been replaced with Fluid Gain, essentially. Grisly Gain. This one, it seems very good now. Striking foes may spill plasma, which also restores magic when collected. So it's essentially just, instead of getting the fluid droplets from Poseidon, you get blood drops, which give you magic and attack speed and move speed when you collect them. And it's just another way of gaining plasma now, in addition to the other two, so that seems extremely good, I'm gonna say, especially if you, like, work towards his legendary, then it's just, like, infinite magic at all times, I guess. Single elimination, yeah, has been changed. Mean streak, kind of nothing. Easy shot, kind of nothing. Shadow pounce. This one kind of makes sense. Now gives Omega moves a chance to deal critical damage after you dash, instead of just a flat damage increase for, like, 2 seconds after you dash. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Make Artemis more just about the crit chance stuff, not, like, a random situational damage buff. Whispered Prayer is new. Your Hex may deal critical damage. I don't see when that's going to be relevant, really. Like, I guess it could be interesting with, like, Total Eclipse. It's going to be extremely rare, but if you do get that big crit Total Eclipse, that could be cool, because, yeah, this is not going to make Lunar Ray good. Just, oh, yeah, we might have, like, a 5% crit chance or something. I don't know, we'll have to see, but yeah, it sounds very situational and not really worth, like, using your Artemis on in the run. Divine Dash has been nerfed. I guess fair enough. I mean, I didn't think it was, like, that strong, but Deflect is pretty strong overall, so it kind of makes sense, sure. Task Force is new. Your God-sent hexes can be used more times per encounter. That's weird, because we didn't even hear that that was the case. So it's like something about you can only use the Selene God-sent hexes thing a limited amount of time. I don't know, we'll have to see how that works. Worry Free now gives a random amount of bonus life within a range rather than a set amount. Kind of makes sense, because yeah, like that's more about, I do think this is a nerf. I assume it is only like a lower amount up to what it did before, not like even more, but I guess we'll have to see. Because yeah, what was it you got? Was it like 150 or something like that? I don't remember exactly, but it was just like a lot of health, and yeah, you probably don't need to worry, because chances are you are fine, and even if you're not fine, it's not like you can do anything about it. But now it's like, you might have gotten a massive health buff, but you might have gotten a pretty small one. So then you never really know if you're close to death, and like, oh, do I need to buy this health thing from a well or whatever, or Hermes, what's it called? Shrine and stuff. So, yeah, kind of makes sense. Personal loan from Dionysus. Give up all your gold after the next Guardian, gain it back with interest. Sounds weird. It sounds really weird, because it's just like, you just get more money for the final shop, I guess, by not getting money for the shop on Olympus. I don't know. I'm not really sure, like, when you would want this, really, but I guess we'll see. Reckless Abandon sounds weird as hell. Your attacks deal random damage from a set range of values. So I guess that could be pretty good from, like, for the coat, like, special build with Poseidon and whatever, Night Spawns, they already do less damage, so you just do, like, many small hits, and then some of those might actually be huge hits. But if you're doing something that actually does good damage to begin with, I guess Pan could also kind of work with it, but Pan daggers actually do a decent amount of damage, but yeah, it seems weird. It seems like you're probably not gonna really want this, but I don't know, maybe on some, like, very fast-hitting weapons, it could be okay. The urn thing from Hades is now fewer, stronger urns that have a wider range. Sure. Gigaros Dash is a new one from Hades. Your dash damages surrounding foes and briefly makes them take more damage from their attack and special. Kind of a callback to the Hades aspect in Hades 1. So yeah, I mean, that sounds good. That sounds pretty good overall. One of the better ones from Hades, I'm gonna say. Unseen Ire is just, like, offered at a certain point, but it's unchanged, so kind of weird. I don't know if that means there's gonna be, like, some story thing with her learning to, like, use the darkness powers or something? I don't know. Moonlight Dress, Arachne, I don't remember which one this was, but it's reworked. Outfit makes your hexes charge using less magic than before. The previous effect is now called Gilded Dress. But what was the previous effect? I don't know. I don't remember. Crimson Dress is new. Outfit makes you deal more damage after each encounter. So that could be interesting. Like, try to keep that going. And, like, get the Crimson Dress and then use Arachne's Keepsake, I guess, to try and, like, and get Hef to get a bunch of armor stuff, so you make sure you keep that armor and just keep getting more damage. Sounds interesting. Echo now has gold, 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 and gift, gift, gift. The first one... Sorry, my nose is really itchy. I keep, like, trying to itch it. After your next purchase from Charon, gain another at no extra charge. Just sounds weird. It's just like travel deal, but just a one-time travel deal that just gives you a freebie instead. I don't know. It's kind of boring. I don't really see the point of that one. Gift, gift, gift. In the next region, gain the basic effect of your current keepsake. This could be interesting. Because I wonder, like... Yeah, I wonder how exactly that's going to work. Like, surely, if you have, like, the antler in Morning Fields, that doesn't mean you're going to get the crit chance, but then get your health back, right? It's just essentially, like, in a way you get to equip 2 keepsakes for Tartarus, sort of. But yeah, if you're using, like, a god keepsake, then you're not going to get any benefit. And if you're using, like, Athena or something, no benefit. So I guess it's only going to be there if you use something like... I don't even know. I wonder, like, if you use something like Heracles' Fang and the droplet, are they going to, like, replenish? And, like, it counts as a new keepsake buff or something? I don't know, we'll have to see. But it doesn't sound like that good. I can't really think of any amazing combinations that would be, like, good with that. Also, my god, this is taking a while. I'm kind of thinking, that's why I put a question mark at the end of, like, maybe I will play Gato Roboto after this, but I'm gonna say maybe we're just gonna do Hades 2 today, because reading the patch notes is taking a while, and I would like to at least see some of the new stuff. So yeah, I guess maybe I should, like, speed up a little bit. Yeah, let's, like, skip over the ones that aren't, like, super interesting, like, okay, more life from Girth and whatever. Some new Cersei things. This sounds really good. Your Omega moves can now morph. Sounds very good. Icarus have had, like, the special and attack boon reworked. Now it's, like, palm levels instead. I don't know. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. He had a bit of a palm theme with the, like, supply chain and all of that. And then this one, I kind of don't like the idea of this one, because it sounds too fun, but too annoying. Full service, one of your hammer enchantments is upgraded to rank 2. Several of the new blessings noted above require first having reached a certain point in your relationship with the corresponding character, because that's not specific to this one. But it's just like, that's going to be so annoying to, like, test things, where you're going to have to get a specific hammer, and then you're like, oh, I wonder how this works with full service on Icarus, and then you have to get Icarus to show up, and then you have to get this to show up, because you can't re-roll his stuff, right? And then, like, it's just going to be so annoying to see how good the hammer enchantments even are at rank 2 if you're using, like, various ones. I don't know. It's just, like, so specific and so much RNG that it just sounds kind of obnoxious to me. I don't know. We'll have to see. Zeus Hestia, more Scorch, more damage. This one is weird. I assume this means a nerf. Reduced damage resistance from magic. Instead of, like, 50%, it's, like, less. I don't know that this one needed a nerf, but okay. Incandescent Aura has been buffed. Good, I guess. What's it called? Steam is now working with the Froth, okay. The Aphrodite Ares one just is a chance at creating heartthrobs, yeah. Chain Reaction was also nerfed. Kind of annoying, because, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it really needed that. It's, like, the only thing that's fun with Hef Clang builds, but I guess if you're doing those anyway, you're probably going to be activating them, I guess, is like within a second now or something. Yeah, here we go. Removed several cases where boons affecting your cast prevented other such boons from being offered. So I assume that means like Prominence Flare, Geyser Spout, Meat Grinder, things like that. We'll have to see if it's all of them or if there's still some restrictions. I wish that was more clear in the game, like, oh, you've taken this, now show that like chain icon over the boons that you can no longer get, similar to the vow that does that. That would be cool. Some adjustments, clarification to descriptions, minor fixes and adjustments. You might notice, though, no mention of a certain boon we've been a little focused on. There's been no changes to Bridal Glow unless that is part of other minor fixes and adjustments. I don't know. It would be weird. Like, you would think if they did change it and fix it, they would be upfront about it, because, like, they know people have been doing fun runs and goofy runs with Bridal Glow. So it kind of sounds like we can still do it, and I'm wondering if it's just like oh, let them have fun a little bit, we'll fix it for the actual release, and then for now we can keep doing it. I don't know. We'll have to test that. It's going to be interesting to see, but I guess like mods may need to be updated or something as well for that to even be reasonable to do anymore. But yeah, hammer upgrades as well. Melting Swipe just did more damage to... Yeah, this one's weird because it sounds like a nerf. Melting Swipe was already not that great. Your Dash Strike removes like 50% armor, so you have to do 2 dash strikes and then armor is gone. Now it's just heavy damage to armor. And like adjusted melting upgrades for other weapons in the same way. That just sounds weird. Like those were already not that great. They only had like a couple of interactions where like on the pirate boss, it's really good because he's all armor and stuff, and I guess Talos has a bunch of armor too, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird to nerf this one. Hidden Helix reworked. Oh yeah, it was formerly Triple Helix, reworked. Your specials create a bonus projectile. I don't really understand. Isn't that the same? I guess it just means that like your regular special only makes 2? No. Is that it? And then your Omega Special now does 3 because it was already 2. So it's +1 instead of like they do 3. I don't know. Seems weird and also seems like a weird thing to nerf in that case. Like your regular special shooting out 3 specials was not that strong. Like it was just kind of fun. So yeah, seems weird. Doesn't really matter. Possessed Array, losing magic from retrieving shells no longer charges your hexed. That is such a minor nerf. That is completely irrelevant. So yeah, Possessed Array, still probably the single strongest hammer in the game. Kind of weird that it's like this is the only thing they touch on that. And yeah, some hidden aspect stuff we'll skip over. And some Daedalus Hammer name changes. Some hexes, yeah, the God Sent upgrades we'll check once we get them. We have a couple of like different ones with like Lunar Ray, which like grants armor and stuff. Twilight Curse now deals damage in addition to inflicting more. I guess that's good, but like I doubt it's still gonna be good on bosses and whatever. But maybe at least it's like usable now. Yeah, Infection is now like all curses you have active like on your build instead of just like on the enemy, which is good. Don't really care for most of these. Yeah, let's just ignore that. Knucklebones was minorly nerfed. Still the same, like, health penalty to the boss, but I guess you just don't reduce the damage as much. Fair enough. It was pretty strong, and, like, the main thing is just reducing the boss HP, I guess, but, yeah, I don't know. I feel like instead of nerfing this one, they should have buffed some of the worse ones. Like, they completely and utterly gutted the pin, whatever it was called, engraved pin. Like, it's just unusable now. You just don't ever want to use it. It's just strange, because you don't really, unless they change, like, strength at some point, it's just, yeah, it's weird. It's very weird to me. Their keepsake spot will have, like, flavor text and art. That sounds cool. For some reason, they swapped the position of the Eris and Charon keepsake spots. I don't know why. Apollo has a name change. So Fig Leaf and Discordant Bell and Lion Fang no longer activate in the tiny, like, extra rooms in the Fira. So for these two, it's a buff. It means Fig Leaf won't trigger unnecessarily. Lion Fang won't reduce the damage. It's kind of weird to nerf this one, though, because Discordant Bell is already terrible. But, yeah, I don't know. More resources. And for some reason, Freenose, Hecuba, and Gali got their, like, resource gathering speed increased. But, like, I feel like Rocky is also kind of slow. I wish all of them were just faster and, like, didn't lock you into the animation. It's just, like, you tell them to get it, and then you can run away, and they do it over, like, a second. And yeah, Hecuba and Gali you can now get earlier. Makes sense. They were super annoying to get. And the Gali spawn point on Olympus is easier to find. Makes sense too. I don't remember where it was, but I think it was, like, kind of hard to see. There's now gemstones that you can just be... You trade in for prestige. Kind of weird, but sure. Finding reagents in chaos no longer reduces the chance of finding other reagents soon after. I didn't know that was the case. This one is nice, and yeah, community, like, the community demanded this. Lotus is now used in fewer incantations. I really hope that includes the cookies. Please remove Lotus from the cookies and do something else that you have, like, more of. So yeah, I think that's good, because for some reason Lotus was just using, like, half the incantations in the game. It was really annoying. And yeah, there you go. The resource that was called Plasma is now called Flux. Don't get that. Why? It's very strange. And all of this stuff doesn't really matter. Prometheus now no longer lands, like, right by the door. Now it's, like, random, so I guess you just have to stand in the center. I did read this one, but I guess I won't read it because it is a bit of a spoiler. But yeah, her curse now has some other things to it. I guess we'll have to intentionally get hit by it. Erebus Warden, some other stuff. King Vermin has been buffed. Vermimancer has been buffed. Talos, less damage on the shield throw. Yeah, nothing here really matters. The location for the bosses also changes with extreme measures. That's cool. Yeah, here we go. Olympus had, like, really long delays between waves for some reason. Specifically when it was, like, the mechs that, like, spawn in with that sound effect. For some reason, they would just, like, delay so long, and just, like, where's the next wave? This, I didn't even know this was the case, but it kind of explains a lot. That the Rift of Thessaly region apparently was, like, it could be too long or too short. Like, it was more... There was a big variety or a big, like, discrepancy between the longest possible rift and the shortest one. Because I feel like I've noticed that, like, sometimes it feels like it goes on forever, and then other times it's just like, oh, this is the mid shop, right? And then, oh, no, it's the end shop. It's Ares. I feel like I did nothing, so yeah, sounds good. Not sure about this. Sure, more summit rooms. Chaos Trials, a bunch of new Chaos Trials. Sure. More Arcana backs. Uh-huh. Ares will now vandalize our corner. We'll have to see about that. More prestige things are affordable early on. Sure. Easier to navigate around soil plots. Some new incantations. Accelerates the rate at which keepsakes rank up. That sounds really good. I hope I get that soon. Grave Thirst grants... I gotta, like, drink some water. One sec. Oh boy, this is a lot of reading, yeah. You get gemstones as well, similar to Hades 1, I suppose, when you kill a Guardian. Sounds good, but it's just like... It's just prestige, I guess, in that sense. Now you can restore the Pools of Purging in Tartarus, if you haven't already. That's the thing, I've seen someone have Pools of Purging, but I have no idea how you got them. Because I feel like I've done a lot, and I've never seen those. I don't know, it's very strange. Bounties of the Infinite Abyss. You may find an extra reward if you have enough active oath vows. Not like the fear amount, it's specifically like how many oaths you have active. That's weird. But I don't know, we'll have to see exactly what that means. You can harvest all grown plants at once and plant multiple seed types or seeds at once. Okay. Very late game ability to harvest resources automatically on exiting locations. Sounds good, because yeah, like at a certain point, I guess you get to the point where like, oh, I don't want to grab all of these things, but then you can just like grab them anyway for prestige and whatever. Sounds good. And some adjustments and stuff. Some Fated List stuff. Book of Shadows stuff. And then a bunch of like menu things and visual things. I don't think we need to really check this. Auto fire, you can now either press and hold auto fire or a one press toggle. Kind of weird. I don't know why you would want to one press toggle. You're never going to want to just like click and then you're just attacking and doing things and you walk away from the keyboard. I don't know, sounds weird. And Mel now reappears in the crossroads faster. Sounds good. Less wait time. And yeah, like the portrait is now smaller or bigger with the Cersei changes. That's good. Kind of like you wonder why that wasn't already the case. Yeah, animals now greet you. Great. I guess, yeah, you could sometimes miss that you even opened a reward in a cocoon. And yeah, this makes sense now. Instead of just seeing your grasp, which is always going to be 30 when you played enough, now it's just showing prestige, which is more of an indication for how much you actually have played. Kind of makes sense. Yeah, gameplay timer pauses automatically in a few more instances, such as the Ephira Vista scene. What exactly do they mean? I guess that's like the first room? So like after you kill the enemies in the first room, you don't have to rush to the next one, because you can just go up and look at Ephira. For a second I thought this meant like inside Ephira, like the room with all the rooms to gods and stuff. That could have been really interesting, but it's just a minor change to make like the timer a little less strict, I guess. And yeah, Athena now works on Mount Olympus, so you don't need to worry about taking like non-menu things anymore. Winner's Circle and cast boons. Oh, I wonder what that means. Fixed various interactions, and it's like community noted with Winner's Circle. Does that mean like they nerfed, like removed, you know, Demeter and Hef actually being really good with Winner's Circle? Or is it the opposite, where like, oh, Rapturing and Hestia and Zeus and whatever, they were kind of awful with it, like they just got worse? Maybe now they're actually better? I don't know. We'll have to see if this is a buff or a nerf. And here we go. Slow Cooker has been killed. I mean, not really. It's still going to be good, because it's just attacks and specials instead of everything, basically. That makes sense. It was just like, especially like, the Bridal Glow bug is so specific that most casual players won't run into it, and even if they do, it won't really cause any problems, and even if it does, it's so rare. Like, yeah, it's just such a minor thing, but Slow Cooker was just like always insane. Like, you kinda just wanted it every single run if you could get it, because it just made everything do way more damage. It just upped your total DPS by a crazy amount, so yeah, kinda makes sense. Trusty Shield. Removed armor if it later gained rarity. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but yeah, sure. Engraved Pin. Not deactivating the effect of strength. Yeah, again, it's like, that is so bad that like if you use the pin, it deactivates strength. It doesn't make any sense. I feel like if anything, it could like deactivate strength, but then once you activate Moros, you get healed up regardless to like the amount of health you should have with strength, because that's why like getting extra DDs with strength is just bad. Like, if you have strength and then you get, you know, Cersei or something, or a Judgment activating your DDs, it just means you're gonna be less tanky until you die all those times, and then you're gonna respawn with like 30 to 40% of your health with the strength damage buff and like debuff, you know, like a defense buff. and then you're still just gonna die because you don't have like 300 health that goes way further with strength. It's just, yeah, it's so strange. I really hope they do something about the strength and DD interaction, and like, it's just so bad. Engraved pin sucks with strength. Strength is just usually better. I don't know, it's weird. And that's kind of it. Okay, so that was like over an hour of just reading patch notes, huh? Man, I'm almost thinking I should just leave this. Yeah, I might just do that. I might like take a break already, and I'm gonna say no Gato Roboto today. Let's just play Hades 2 and check out the update. So yeah, let's just take a break here. That was the patch notes. I'll upload this separately, I guess, and then we're actually gonna play the real game. Let's jump in and see what happens here. After a break, and like for the rest of tonight. This looks different. That wasn't like purple before, was it? Oh, this looks different too. This all looks weird. It's weird. I don't really like that. I don't like the purple. I like the gold stars more. I don't notice
the bones.
The like... Oh, yeah. I don't notice the like different arts depending on your relationship. Maybe that's not yet. It's only if we like
the hilt.
Advance them even more. I'm just thinking if any of them change in that way, but yeah, don't think so. Alright, so we'll have to check hidden aspects and all of that stuff in a bit. So yeah, let me take a break and continue Hades 2 afterwards.